super excited that you are here. I'm pretty excited today because I've got Catherine Groth, and she's one of, I would say, like really close to one of my first spinal flow practitioners that joined me. And I know she's doing such incredible stuff with her practice, but also supporting heaps of practitioners in the WA region. So she's been telling me a little bit about some good stuff that she's doing in her practice, and I wanted to share that. I don't want to share it. She's going to share it just because we're both on a mission to let people know that healing can happen. And by coming on here and doing these videos, we're just showing you really normal people that perhaps thought that there wasn't hope in their world, and there is. So welcome, Catherine.
Thank you. Good morning.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited to be here because it is normal people that are in my practice as well.
Do you know, like in my practice, I really noticed in the practice I had when I had one in Melbourne, I don't have one now, was that the people that I saw were those people that had tried everything. And they were like, it's not going to happen for me, and my body's this and my body's that. I'm like, hang on. Can we just try one more thing? Because your body, it's hurting for sure, and there's blockages for sure, but come on, let's try it. And then that I had it as well, really normal people that had given up hope that healing could happen.
And that's where my passion lies, is that I know from my own experience and my own healing journey, which was super exciting, I reached my limit as well. 20, 30 years of back pain, suffering. And then, of course, you popped up on Facebook, like which I never expected. And I thought, this is it. So I did my self-healing 3 months, and then I couldn't stop. I had to carry on. So, of course, I carried on, and now I've been running a practice for 3 years, going into my fourth.
Yay, that's awesome.
My clients are ordinary people at their ends wit. They just want to heal, and they know that there's something nagging inside them that has always been there. And that's the power that heals them. And we all know that. But we just need to learn about it. We just know that.
But do we know that? Because some people don't know that. Some people think that healing happens from a really smart doctor or a really smart practitioner or a surgery or a drug. And they feel that their bodies aren't smart anymore because their bodies are talking to them in a way that doesn't feel good. And that's what I think. We know that. And we're like the reminder to go, hey, we're not saying that we're amazing as practitioners, but we know that their body is amazing, and we can help them find that. So their body takes over and says, I've got this. I know what to do.
And I've seen it so many times. And I'm just thinking about a man I started with recently. He walked in the door, stiff as a board, couldn't move his neck at all. He was suffering. He's had 8 sessions now. After the 3rd session, he had at least 30% movement in his neck. He's starting to go a bit deeper. Layers are starting to come off. He's looking at the stresses in his life that are creating pain and suffering around the shoulder area in regard to the way he works, the way he moves, but he has way more movement. He is amazing. 3 sessions, he couldn't believe it. And his truth is starting to come out, and it's been there a long time. He had a healing many, many years ago, and he was carrying some trauma around that from a different modality completely in a different country. And you could barely touch his neck. You couldn't, just to feel down the vertebrae, it was like he just flinched. He just about jumped off the table, actually.
There's a wisdom in that, isn't there? Because the body's not stupid. So if there has been trauma or something that's not safe, the body's going to hold us together. And sometimes we're like, oh, I just need you to massage this or loosen that. It's like, but hang on, there's wisdom in that. Your body's not even allowing you to move or to see or to not have any And I just look at that, I'm like, that's smart. But can you imagine, and there's so many people here that go through life not being able to move. That's your brain with your nervous system right at the top. So if there's not movement, that affects every nerve cell, muscle tissue in the body. I just want to say quickly is that we do this test in the spinal flow certification program, and we get people to turn their head to the right and to the left. That shows if there's a blockage in the pause gateway. And we want full movement. That's not me doing it because I'm trying to look at the camera. But when you say, you know, someone hasn't got movement, the degree of stuckness and stressness in the spine reflects what's happening in their life.
Absolutely. And that's the stuff that's starting to come up now is his lifeline, his health line, and his journey. And he's excited. I mean, we just all had a big break for Christmas and he wanted to come. And I didn't really want to start with him before Christmas because I knew I was having a big break. So I rang him and I said, well, I want to see you twice a day, every day, till I go on break. He was absolutely committed and he is committed to his well-being. He's an amazing man. All my clients are amazing, of course, but he's just incredible. His commitment to heal himself and speak his truth, because that's the contract with me. If you want to work with me, you've got to speak your truth. So we're on the same page. Yeah.
Hey, I love
Yeah,
that
he's
you're doing that, and I love that you've helped him. Like that's massive. The movement in your neck, how that can change. You know, that can create, you know, problems with sleep, lack of energy, problems, eye, ears, everything that's involved in this neck throat area. When there's lack of movement, it affects every nerve that needs to come and supply the head, neck, and shoulders and arms.
so beautiful to witness the transformation with my people that come to me. They just are so committed and they are at their wits' end, you know, like life's busy. But yeah, I have beautiful clients, and I have to share about an amazing young woman who actually has been coming to me for probably about 60 sessions now. She arrived, her major complaint was she hadn't slept for 3 days. So she was definitely in fight flight. Um, she hadn't slept for 3 days. She was at her wit's end. She walked through the door, didn't know what to do next. And we've been on a journey for a long time now. She's incredible. She is so incredible. Her fight flight balance has shifted. So the seesaw has shifted and she's in way more heal, rest, and digest. She's committed to journaling. She has a background in trauma, and she's actually traveled her lifeline and found where it all started. She has done the work. She is incredible. Her body's amazing. She's clean with her food. Um, her body is, her spine is straight. There's nothing wrong with her spine. There's no injury. But she did carry an emotional trauma from a very little girl, the loss of a parent at a very young age. And she came to a place where she recognized this is where it all started. So she was able to transform and do her healing around that issue, and her life has changed.
With
She's
how it
just
changed for her, what has she noticed?
um she's noticed that she's not carrying so much emotional stress on her body, and she's not fearful about going out as much, you know, like she used to lock herself away because she was so wound up like a spring, really. Um, she's excited about the future. She's just had her first flight in years for a holiday, so she's taking action, you know. She's full of movement and she's full of love, and she's connected to her heart now, and she's released a lot of grief, and yeah, she's just, I don't know, she's all heart, you know. She just she's just amazing. People are amazing, aren't they, Carly? They're just
It's
extraordinary, the
amazing. But
lengths.
it's you kind of look at this poor little person, like from when she was little to having
Yeah,
amount of stress in the body, because people don't realize that the emotional stress and trauma that we've had, if that's not released or felt, that stores in our body. And when it stores in our body, it creates stress, disease, and illness. Huge amount of, it can be anxiety, it can be panic attacks, it can be all of that, but it can mean that we're not living the life that we want to be living, locked away at home, scared to travel, scared to go out. But just by being able to be free in the spine and to not hold that, we're not trying to make things right. Like there's some really shit things that have happened to people in their worlds. Like, we really get that. And in spinal flow, that's not our job to go, hey, forgive it all, but it's going, hey, your body's holding it. If we can actually get the body to process it and move it through, which doesn't involve pain or stress or trauma, then the body can be free. Because sometimes people say, oh, I've done all the work. They've been to the psychologists and the coaches, they've been to all the people, and they're really good at knowing and healing the stuff, but the body is actually still holding it. So that's our gig, isn't it? To just come through the
yeah, yeah.
body release what it doesn't have to hold on to anymore. Some of this stuff has been, people have held on to this stuff since they were little, really little. And
Really small.
right. Yeah.
She's incredible, she is moving towards freedom, um, to live her life and to work towards her dreams. Um, we do recommendation and coaching and all the rest of it. She just picks it up, and she goes with it. And in terms of freedom, I guess the biggest step for her was because she used to have the anxiety and the brain chatter around lots of stuff, stuck in mindsets and beliefs about who she was as a person, as a little person, and not wanting to be a burden, on her family. She moved out of hiding, really, and she literally used to go and hide by herself to process. Now she's created an amazing healing room for herself. She has a table, she has what she loves. She goes there, awakens her spinal flow. She's just amazing every day, scanning her body. I love her. I love her.
That's
She's incredible.
beautiful. Thank you. And I just love that you've been able to help another person just change their lives. But you know what I love is it's not just going, hey, I'm Katherine and I'm amazing. It's like, hey, how can I empower you to understand you and to make changes in your lifestyle? Because I noticed that, early on when I was, a former chiropractor, I just work with people over and over. But it got to a stage where I'm like, but they're coming back with the same patterns. If I don't help them really identify what, why, or change their lifestyle, I'm probably not making a difference. So that's why we're going, well, yeah, there's the stuff we do in the body, but there's also the stuff we do with the mind and the heart to actually help our people prioritize themselves actually and move towards living a different life. So I love it too. I'm excited. I think we do some good stuff in this world.
Oh, aren't they amazing? It's like I get to journey and be alongside them, delivering the spinal flow technique. And it is faster and better. It just is. I mean, I had years with different modalities, training and modalities. And I remember when I first saw spinal flow, it just hit me in the heart. And I thought, how can anything go inside me so quickly? Because I had many years as a practitioner in different modalities, and it's just faster and better. And it's an easy pathway to come home to that ease and work from that place. I love it. I
Yeah.
just love it. And it just brings me to another client. I'm just thinking about
Tell me.
another,
Yeah, go for it.
this amazing woman who came to me suffering with occupational stress. She was absolutely in burnout. Her words are, "Man, was I a mess." This is probably when I first started. Actually, I think she was actually one of my people when I was getting trained. I bumped into her yesterday, actually, and she wants to come back. She said, I need to come back and release some more stresses that have built up. But over those 2 years, wow, the change. She was in burnout, like her whole body was shutting down. She was tearful all the time, still trying to work in a professional role. She's just amazing. She came with, and she had throat problems and thyroid issues, headaches, tearfulness. Her body was hard as a rock, you know. It was really trying to hold her together. She had 2 years, 2.5 years spinal flow 2-3 times a week, then down to 2 times a week, then weekly, and then she committed to doing some immersive 1-day healing treatments. Incredible. And now she's cut her workload down to 3 days. Her body's moving. She's in love with herself again. She says hello to herself every morning, checks in with herself, looking at doing energy work as well. So she's in her passion and her purpose. Oh my God, she's amazing. I love her. I love all of them. I'm hopeless. I just fall in love with all of them. And there's been hundreds, hundreds of people have come through here. And there's so many standouts. They all are in their own way, but
Tell me about the
wow.
you told me about before. You said there was someone that had these injuries. Tell me about.
Oh, yes. So I've started with a woman in the last year who had an accident. Um, she broke all these bones in her pelvis area and right down through there. She's got plates and screws. Like, she showed me the X-ray and it just looks like there's just metal everywhere. She is extraordinary. Oh my goodness. She had spent time in hospital for quite a long time in 2021 after the accident. She was on painkillers. She was in excruciating pain, constant pain in her groin. Um, Sort of at a point where she had given up. You know, she'd been through medical treatment. She'd done everything she could possibly. And I remember a year or a year and a half ago, I bumped into her, and I handed her my welcome pack, my spinal flow welcome pack. And it had been sitting there for a year in her desk. And one day she pulled it out and she stepped forward. She showed up for herself. It was her final attempt to get well. And start releasing some pain in her body because that hadn't actually released. So she rang. She made her appointment. She came within 3 weeks. 3 weeks, she went off her pain medication. 3 weeks. She was incredible. We had a big conversation in the first appointment, what I expected, what she expected, and we came to common ground, and we developed a care plan for her because she was in so much pain and she was suffering really on every level, emotionally, physically, and chemically. Today, I'm pretty full on with my recommendations, Carly, with some of my people. And one of the main stresses in her life was she was living in a house where there were stairs. So she had to walk up and down stairs every day. And I said, well, you're going to have to sell your house and get a house with no stairs. And she did. So she's at a stage now where she was at a decision where she was going to go and get the plates taken out. She was in so much pain. And I said, no, let's just wait. Let's just wait. So she has eliminated major stresses in her life, painkillers. She's moved house. She said 2024 is my year for rehabilitation physically. She can now walk 2 kilometres.
Yay. She
She's
could
amazing.
have kept her house and walked up the stairs by the time you finished with her.
She sold the house, sold the house. House is gone. No, we couldn't have stairs because this is something she has to live with. So
Yeah.
sometimes you do have to live with injuries that are all put back together. Your bones are put back together with plates.
Can I just
She's
say
now,
something? I don't think you're being full on because I was the same in my practice. People came to see me and said, I want to get well. And if they've got some back problem and they're just playing tennis every day or smashing that joint, I was like, well, hang on. It's ridiculous for me to keep doing what
yeah,
I'm doing. We've got to give that joint a break. Like, it's not being, someone said to me, I want to get pregnant. It's like, okay, we've got to do everything to get the body well. So I don't think you're being full on. I think you're actually just being realistic and helpful to say, let's look at all of it so we can have faster, quicker healing.
yeah. And all of it is my view, really. Like I have quite a broad view, and everyone, we're all the same. We just are. We're all the same. We just want to be well. She's amazing. She's in water doing her rehab. Um, she
Can
is
I
a
just say that
professional.
as well? Can I interrupt too? Because for those people that are listening as well, water's great. Like, when you've got pelvis stuff, it can be really hard to be weight bearing. So to be able to move in water and have floats on or something, it's so good for the pelvis. So I just wanted to share that as well.
Oh, and it is, and she's just going great guns. She's incredible. She's she's spectacular. She is spectacular. You know, she just is.
But can
Um,
I say something? Because I hear what you say about your people and you love them and you think they're spectacular. And I think that's great. But I just want to say, people are watching this now and going, well, hang on, who's she? Who's this Catherine woman? I think she's spectacular. And so for those and I get, Catherine can't be everywhere, but can you just tell us where you are, how we find you, just for people that really resonate can actually come and find you.
yes, yes, yes. So I'm in Western Australia. I live in Mandurah, which is the jewel in the crown of Western Australia. Um, I work at my practices. I am peel away stress, spinal flow. That is my life's work, peeling away stress. We all have stress. I have another practitioner joining me
Yeah.
this month. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so if you can't do weekly appointments, you can always come and do an immersive. I will take you out of your day, your stressful day, and I will put you down and your mind for the whole day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I am. It's exciting. It's exciting work.
I
It's
just
my
think they're
passion.
incredible. You can tell, like when you speak, you can tell that it's your passion to help people. You can tell that, you've got that mama energy that really supports your people, but tough as well, like me. It's like there's no bullshit. It's like, hey, if you want to change, we've got to do stuff to change your life. And I love that you're not scared to tell people. One thing that you've heard me say it so many times, but I'm going to say it on here. I share with our practitioners that they need to put a little sign on in their clinic saying, tell the truth. And so when people say, hey, what do I need? We really need to talk to them as if they were your mother or father or sister or child, because sometimes practitioners get really scared to tell the truth. They get scared because they think their people don't want to change their lives, or they don't want to come, or they don't have time, or they don't have money. But people come because they're like, I'm not okay, help me. And sometimes that does involve a lot of sessions or changing your life. Like everybody's different. And we don't know that until we meet you and feel what's going on in your spine. But I love the fact that everyone's different. But for me, a lot of the miracles that happen in my world was because I saw people really intensely to change, but it's lifelong change because we're peeling the layers, like your practice is called. We're peeling the layers. We're bringing through, taking out the stress of the body so flow can come up and down the spine, which is, innate intelligence, life force, all of that, for massive healing to happen that comes from within. So it's really exciting.
I love it. I love it. And the greatest thing is as people transform and move towards wellness and greater health, their life transforms, like their life quality grows with the flow in their body. It just does. And they get excited about life. They make massive change, even in their jobs, their families, their approach to life. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for sharing your wisdom and the beautiful people that come into your practice. And for you, like, thank you for being like a practitioner with me on this journey to make this world an easier, more enjoyable place. Thank you, Miss Catherine.